House before making plans for it, then you shouldn't build a website, an app, or a piece of software without wireframing its key pages and screens. Business owners, product managers, designers, and programmers all use Balsamiq to clarify, iterate, and communicate their user interface ideas. A simple but invaluable step which saves you from feature creep and from wasting a bunch of time and money coding the wrong thing. Balsamiq is the industry-leading solution for fast, approachable, collaborative online wireframing. The app is incredibly easy to use. If you can use Microsoft Office, you can use Balsamiq. You won't believe how fast you can whip up screens and web pages. We compete with pencil and paper, and we win. We keep things at low fidelity so people don't get hung up on details too early in the process, and they don't confuse your wireframes for the final design. We've been working on wireframing tools for 10 years now, so we know which features you need and which you don't. Plans start at $9 a month with unlimited users. Give us a try for free at balsamiq.cloud and see for yourself. Any questions? Ask away. We're good people and we care.
Somewhere past the edge of convention,
beyond the boundaries of tomorrow,
lies a special kind of impossible.
A kind of impossible.
Where pioneers forge ahead.
Where no idea is too bold.
And no challenge too great.
Because making a 200-ton airplane disappear is impossible.
Until it's not.
Predicting cyber attacks before they happen is impossible.
Until it's not.
And solving the mysteries of the universe is impossible.
Until it's not. It's our job to break free from what is to what could be. Ready?
To leave the boundaries of what's known.
To define possible.
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 build a house before making plans for it, then you shouldn't build a website, an app, or a piece of software without wireframing its key pages and screens. Business owners, product managers, designers, and programmers all use Balsamiq to clarify, iterate, and communicate their user interface ideas. A simple but invaluable step which saves you from feature creep and from wasting a bunch of time and money coding the wrong thing. Balsamiq is the industry-leading solution for fast, approachable, collaborative online wireframing. The app is incredibly easy to use. If you can use Microsoft Office, you can use Balsamiq. You won't believe how fast you can whip up screens and web pages. We compete with pencil and paper, and we win. We keep things at low fidelity so people don't get hung up on details too early in the process, and they don't confuse your wireframes for the final design. We've been working on wireframing tools for 10 years now, so we know which features you need and which you don't. Plans start at $9 a month with unlimited users. Give us a try for free at balsamiq.cloud and see for yourself. Any questions? Ask away. We're good people and we care.
Somewhere past the edge of convention.
Beyond the boundaries of tomorrow.
Lies a special kind of impossible.
A kind of impossible.
Where
We're
pioneers
pioneers.
forge ahead.
Where no idea is too bold.
And no challenge too great.
Because making a 200-ton airplane disappear is impossible.
Until it's not.
Predicting cyber attacks before they happen is impossible.
Until it's not.
And solving the mysteries of the universe is impossible.
Until it's not. It's our job to break free from what is to what could be. Ready?
To leave the boundaries of what's known.
To define possible.
To define possible.
Define possible.
To define possible.
To define possible.
Hi, good. Welcome back to our closing ceremony. Oh my gosh, the weekend is almost over, y'all. That's crazy. How did we get here? Oh my gosh. Well, welcome everyone to our closing ceremony. It's hard to believe that the weekend has come and gone, but I guess time flies when you're having fun, right? Must have been one heck of an event then. I hope y'all had a blast. We have a lot to cover in this closing ceremony, but first off, I do want to take another moment to thank all of our amazing sponsors who have helped us bring this event together virtually this year. So, first off, I want to give a huge thank you to our one and only silver sponsor, Balsamic, a company that's dedicated to providing tools that help teach UI design to non-designers to help them build their company. 1 second as I actually pull up the slides. There we go, y'all. And then also, thank you to Northrop Grumman for being a bronze sponsor this year and also donating some nifty webcam covers that you guys got in your exploretech boxes. Thank you so much to Yubico for also being a bronze sponsor this year and donating YubiKeys that many of our early registration folk received in their boxes. Those are some amazing two-factor authentication devices that you guys should definitely use if you got one of them. Thank you as well to the Walt Disney Company for being our final bronze sponsor this year. Very exciting to have such a renowned company be a part of this event, as well as helping us get Alfredo for our opening speaker. Thank you again to the Walt Disney Company. Now quickly, to our in-kind sponsors, I would like to thank both Cloud Girls and Capcom. Cloud Girls donated dozens of copies of the book How to Be a Woman in Technology that all of you got in your exploretech.la boxes this year. Please give it a read through. I think it's an amazing book. And Capcom also donated the multiple game codes for some of their unforgettable game classics like Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy, which was already awarded yesterday, and Street Fighter V Champion Edition, which will be awarded in one of our raffles today. Now, a huge thank you to our first school sponsor this year, the UCLA Samueli School of Engineering, for supporting us as a student organization over these past 4 years and helping us put together this event. And now the largest thank you ever to our next school sponsor, the UCLA Computer Science Department, who has worked with us closely every year to bring the best possible event to all of our attendees. Lastly, I would like to thank all of our community partners, including Girls Who Code, who sent the amazing buttons, stickers, and magnets for our exploretech boxes, as well as DIY Girls for hosting the amazing Bot Buddy workshops that happened yesterday, if you guys got to attend them. If you would like to read a little bit more about our sponsors, please head over to the sponsorship tab within Socio in the feature column on the left-hand side to learn more. Check out the websites and a little information about the companies that help bring all of our awesome events to you guys. Now, moving on from our sponsors, I would like to introduce you to our closing ceremony guest speaker, Professor Carrie Notchenberg, a current beloved adjunct professor at UCLA and a principal software engineer at Lyft. In any college or high school, there are those well-known professors and teachers who everyone knows, loves, and wants to be friends with. And Professor Notchenberg is definitely one of the greatest professors you can meet at UCLA. So without further ado, I would like to hand it off to Professor Carrie Notchenberg. Hi, Carrie. Good to see you.
You too.
Awesome.
Super excited to be here and share some thoughts about how to get into tech. So maybe without further ado, I'll start. What do you say?
I think that's a great idea. Let's go ahead and get started.
All right, let's do it. Hold your horses. All right, everybody. So I'm going to give you a quick talk about how to get into tech, basically, and why you should get into tech. And as Jack said earlier, I teach one of our freshman courses in computer science. And if you come to UCLA, I'll probably have my class. And hopefully introduce yourself to me, because it'd be great to meet some of you live, actually. I hate teaching virtually, I must say. All right, so what's the title of my talk? It's the top 4 reasons that you should study computer science at UCLA. Let's go through that, because I think hopefully I'll get you excited about it. Number 4, you're going to make interesting new friends. And these are some of my friends. Actually, these are some former students of mine, obviously pontificating using some broccoli right now. But really, of course, I'm joking. You're going to make some of the best friends of your life when you go to university. You're going to go do all kinds of crazy things with them. You're going to go on the rooftops at UCLA or elsewhere, wherever you go to school, and look at the stars, and you're going to enter programming competitions and all kinds of other hackathons and stuff, and just have a great time. And we have some great people at UCLA, and that's really one of the best things about just going to college, just making new friends. But let's go on. Number 3, you're going to build amazing things. Now, I don't know about other universities, but at UCLA, at least, we have you build lots of cool class projects. For instance, our students every year in their first year at UCLA build video games, like space shoot 'em up games where you can, basically have graphics and player can shoot other alien ships and all kinds of other stuff. We have all kinds of game projects every year that our students build. It's pretty exciting. And you're going to build these effectively from scratch. You might not think you could do that right now because, hey, how did I build a video game? That seems like really hard. But within 2 quarters, you'll know enough to do that, believe it or not. And that's not all. Other things that you're going to learn how to build during your time at UCLA are things like search engines like Google. One of our class projects in our freshman year, that's our first year at UCLA, is actually building a simple search engine, or at least that's one of the projects people have had in the past, where you can literally type in search terms and then search through a bunch of different web pages and find all the ones that match. It's easier than you think, and we can teach you how to do this. It's not that bad. And in another recent project, actually last year, our students built turn-by-turn navigation. So if you've ever used Google Maps or Apple Maps, and you ask for directions, it's actually not as difficult as you think. And again, within your freshman year, you can learn how to build turn-by-turn navigation. It says, hey, if you're starting there, take a left turn here and a right turn here, and so on, using real map data. This is actually easier than you think. And so our students built this class project in 2020. They actually built this turn-by-turn directions. Pretty exciting. So building cool things is one of the main reasons to get into engineering and computer science, for example. And this is all something you would do as a freshman in a top university. Number 2, you can make lots of money. Now, some of us aren't motivated by money, but most of us are motivated by money. We want to make a lot of money so we can have a great family and travel and do all the things we want to do. And I'm going to tell you something, this may be hard to believe, but students that go to UCLA and do well and get a bachelor's degree, so a BS, a bachelor's degree of computer science, for example, make on the order of $180,000 total starting salary. That includes your salary, so like what you get paid for, going to the work 40 hours a week, and all the stock that you get if you work for a high-tech company like Google or Facebook. Now, if you go into another engineering discipline like chemical engineering or mechanical engineering, you're going to make some less. This is for computer scientists, but you can still make a boatload of money. So if you're interested in, making a lot of money, this is one of the better places to do it. So it's pretty good. And the number one reason that you should study engineering and hopefully attend UCLA is you'll learn the tools to make a difference. So, there's lots of things you learn in school, but most of the things are, just sort of like theories and stuff and equations and, not that exciting. But what's great about going to engineering school and studying things like computer science is that you can use those tools to actually make a big difference in the world. So I, for instance, work at Lyft building self-driving cars. Okay, so I build, cars that can navigate on their own and actually avoid, colliding with other cars and stop at stoplights and do all those things. That's all software, right? And hardware too, actually. And so if you want to do this kind of thing, you need to have a degree in computer science from a pretty good university. Other things you can do, we developed a COVID vaccine in, 6 to 9 months total. It was amazing. It was all because of computational platforms, computers that can analyze genomes and synthesize new RNA and DNA. It's pretty amazing stuff that we can do right now, and it's all based on computers, chemical engineering, bioengineering. You can have a real impact in the world. You can save lives. So it's cool. And if you're into cybersecurity, which I did for about 25 years, you can help to secure the world's networks to make, again, those networks and computers safe for humanity to use, because there are lots of bad people out there that are trying to attack you and get your money and information. So best thing about learning engineering is making an impact on the world, I think. All right, so you might be saying, that's great, but how? How do we do this? Like, how do I go to a top school like UCLA or another school? And how do I make sure that I'm successful? What do we do? So let me tell you a couple things. This one's pretty obvious, but take STEM courses and start taking them as soon as you can. Any STEM course you can take is going to get you thinking in the right mindset. And so, any science classes, technology classes, engineering, mathematics, Super important to start taking those as soon as you can, and take as many of them as you can. It'll help you also get into a good university if you have great, STEM background on your high school transcripts. Number 2, learn how to program a computer now. So some of you are probably going to be interested in computer science, others in other engineering disciplines, but if you haven't programmed a computer before, you might think it's super difficult, or, like, how would I start? Or I need somebody to teach me. Let me tell you, it's easy. Like, literally, it's easy. You can literally type print, open parenthesis, quote, hello from Moo. I don't know who Moo is, but there you go. And you click run, and it runs your program. That's programming. Programming is simple as putting a command in like print that says put something on the screen, and you can start like that. That's how I started. Okay. So I taught myself how to program when I was younger. You can teach yourself too. There's tons of resources online right now, whether it's YouTube or Khan Academy. There's lots of great resources. And some of you are probably saying, you're like, can I really do this on my own? Do I have what it takes to do this? Well, let me tell you about a friend of mine. His name is Cameron Fang. And this is Cameron. So Cameron actually studied biology when he was at UCLA. He went to UCLA with me, and he was having trouble finding a job that he really liked. And so I taught him programming, and he learned programming largely on his own when he was 25 years old. So he basically restarted his career at 25. Okay. If he can restart his career and get a job at a startup right now, he's doing virtual reality, then you can do it too. And he taught himself largely by himself. So it's not rocket science. You can do it. Rocket science is exciting too, though. Let's keep going. So really important thing for people to do, and this is going to sound sort of preachy, so I apologize to you if it sounds preachy, but learn how to learn. Okay. So it's like, if you're like me, and I'm this way, it's very difficult to be really disciplined. Like, you want to study, you want to learn how to program, you want to do something else, but then you're like, oh, I want to play some video games, I want to go out, right? So create a schedule for yourself. If you create a schedule and you say, look, every weekend I'm going to spend 2 hours on this, or every Wednesday night I'm going to spend an hour on this, you're going to be more likely to actually do it, and then hold yourself accountable. Try to eliminate interruptions, right? Close your Facebook window, turn your chat off, instant messaging, just turn it all off, because the moment you get a text message, your mind takes another 20, 30 minutes to get back into what you were doing. Do repetition. So the more repetition you do, the more fluency you build. Fluency is when you just get so good at it. It's like riding a bike. You don't have to think about it, just natural, right? The more you repeat, whether it's programming or doing calculus or math or whatever it is you want to do, just do lots of repetition. You're going to get really good at it. And use every resource available. Like, I went to Khan Academy today and just went surfing, and they have just tons of stuff. And then YouTube has tons of stuff on how to program. Like, if you've never programmed before, like from ground zero, you can find resources on this stuff. So, it takes some discipline, but you can do this. Now, most important thing for many people, including me, by the way, okay, I'm not just preaching to other people. This is something that actually is difficult for me, is often we're our own worst enemy. I often tell myself I'm not smart enough. Like, there are new things I'm trying to learn in self-driving cars now, where I just don't know if I can do it. I'm like afraid. Am I really smart enough to understand this stuff? And if you're like me, you're probably saying this to yourself. Can I really learn this stuff on my own? Can I prepare? Am I smart enough to do this? Or something like this, like my friend Cameron, am I starting too late? Like, maybe I just won't be successful because I'm just starting too late in life, or my friends have already done this before, or I'm competing against other people who have already started earlier in their life. These are excuses that we use to convince ourselves that we can't, or STEM topics are too complex. But here's the reality. There's what you think you can accomplish, and it's on the left there, and there's your potential, and that's on the right there. And I promise you that most people think they're over there. Most people think what they're capable of doing is way on the left. And the reality is that most people are capable of doing far more if they just try and take the time and learn at their own speed. Not everybody learns at the same speed. I'm actually a really slow learner. I can get something, but it takes me a long time to really get it in my head. And once I get it, then I get it. And some of you might be like me, and some of you might learn really quickly. But if you're like me and you think, oh, I'm not sure I can get this, I'm a little bit afraid, maybe I shouldn't start, because if I start, then I'm going to really realize that I can't get it. Well, you know what? If you just keep trying and trying and trying, you'll realize you can actually do far more than you think you can. And a super important, thing to think about is just be gritty. Okay, so what does grit mean? It's like dirt, but grit also means something else, which is courage, bravery, pluck, mettle, backbone, spirit, strength of character, right? Grit is about never giving up. It's about saying, you know what? I don't get it. That's okay, but I'm going to try again. Oh, I don't get it again. Okay, that's okay. I'm going to ask for more help. I'm going to try again. You're just going to endure. You're never going to give up. That's a way to learn. And it, again, takes some people like me longer than others, but if you just stick with it, you will learn. So never give up. Try again and again. Don't let your failures hold you back. Failure is a regular part of life. I experience failure now, and I've been really successful in my career. We all have failure. The failure is not a problem. It's just a matter of picking yourself up and just moving forward. Okay. I think you're going to have a blast. Now, I want to share with you one final little story from my time at UCLA. It's actually a story I remember fondly, and it's sort of like, it'll give you a flavor of the way things are at a university campus, and like why you want to go to a school like UCLA and the fun you can have from an engineering perspective, because there's lots of fun things you can do when you're on campus. We won't talk about most of those, but there are fun engineering things. And one story I'm going to tell you is that every year, especially at UCLA and other schools, they have something called Engineering Week, where you have a bunch of different engineering activities, competitions. You get teams together, you try to build like bridges that don't fall down with matchsticks or toothpicks or something. You build computer programs, you have hackathons, super fun. And one of the activities we used to have during my time at UCLA was what's called the egg drop, where you take a raw egg and you stick it in some type of contraption and you let it drop off the 9th floor of Boulter Hall, at least at UCLA, has to drop all the stories down, and the egg has to survive. If you're successful, then you win, okay? And one of my good friends, Seth Bruder, actually built one of the most amazing contraptions I have ever seen to safeguard an egg, and I'm gonna tell you about it next. And we did this at midnight on the UCLA rooftops. And by the way, you can go on the rooftops at UCLA. It's pretty cool. So let me tell you about Seth's amazing hack. So what did Seth do? Well, Seth took a can, sort of like that, and he cut the top off the can with a can opener like that. Then he punctured a hole in the bottom of the can with a screwdriver like that, okay? So then what Seth did was he took a rubber band, like those broccoli rubber bands, real thick ones, and he cut it in half, and he got a bunch of duct tape, okay? And he put a little pouch of duct tape on the bottom of the rubber band, sort of like that. It was a little bit rounder, but you get the idea. And then he attached the rubber band with duct tape to the inside of the can. And you might imagine that an egg could fit really snugly on top of that duct tape, okay? And in fact, it could have. And you might also imagine that rubber band would be stretchy. Sort of looks like a little rubber band shooter or something. So next, Seth took a coat hanger, and he cut about a foot of wire from a really heavy-duty coat hanger, and he put a kink in the end like that with the pliers. He bent it over, and he put another kink in the middle like that, and he inserted the wire through the hole and attached it to the rubber band, okay? You might imagine what you could do with that. Then he took a paper plate and cut a hole the same diameter as the can, and he put slits in the paper plate so that it would be like aerodynamic, sort of flutter down or spin down. And he attached the paper plate using, you guessed it, it's your friend, if you're an engineer, duct tape to the inside of the can. Okay, or outside of the can, to the top of the can. And then he pulled down the wire and locked it into place with that little kink there. And he put an egg on top of the pouch like that. There we go. And then what Seth did was he gave me this contraption with the egg in it. I was on the top of Boulter Hall on the 9th floor. Seth was on the ground floor waiting, and he said, drop it. And it was nighttime, actually. It was like 11 o'clock or midnight. And I dropped this off of Boulter Hall, which you see in the picture. And it went fluttering and spinning and spinning and spinning down. And when it got near the bottom, the wire hit the ground first. It triggered the kink there in the wire. The rubber band snapped, and the egg flew right into Seth's hand. It was the most amazing thing I've ever seen. It was like the most amazing engineering feat known to humankind, at least at the time. I thought it was really cool. Seth later actually entered the competition with this the day later, and it didn't work. It blew into a tree. But I saw it work the night before, like around midnight. It was exciting. So I hope I leave you with one important thing, or a couple of important things. Number one important thing is college is really fun. It's really fun to go and solve interesting problems and learn techniques and skills you can use to change the world. Number two is that everybody has self-doubt, and like including me, and it's hard to learn things. Learning is really difficult. But if you just don't give up and you put yourself on a schedule and you try, you can do almost anything and you can learn on your own. So, start soon. And I want to thank you for listening to my talk. Thanks a lot.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Carrie. Thank you so much for
Sure.
being here. It was really great to talk to you. It's an amazing story. I'm really sad the egg went into the tree. But I guess
true.
I guess you saw it work, so we'll have to take
I
your
saw
word
it.
for it. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here. We're going to move into the next part of our presentation. To everyone, give Carrie a round of applause. Thank you so much for being our presenter and sharing those amazing stories. And I hope if any of you come to UCLA, you get to meet this wonderful, amazing man. All right. Thanks, Carrie. I'm going to sign off. Have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye. All right, guys. Thank you so much for sticking around for that. Now it is time to get into the remaining part of our closing ceremony. So 1 second here. I'm going to pull back up the slides because I know all of you love slides. It is your favorite part of this, is it not? Okay. 1 moment, please. All right. It's slide time. So we're going to go back in. Thank you again, Carrie, for being there. Had a wonderful time. Pull up my speaker notes. All right. Next off, we're going to it's almost time for me to let you guys go, but first I want to dive into a couple more quick things. So first off is you haven't missed out yet. In case you were thinking you were missing on some parts of the event, like yesterday, or maybe you missed the entire day Saturday, or maybe you missed the entire day today and you're watching the recording of this thing, don't worry, because we have you in mind. We have you in mind, and we are going to have a bunch of resources available to all of you after the event. So post-event resources. The first place you should be watching after our event is our website, exploretech.la/resources. Once everything is prepared post-event, that page will be updated with more information, so make sure to keep an eye on it and look for all the great things that are going to be on there. Probably be like the slides and the recordings from our event will all be linked there somehow. Make sure you also stay up to date with our social media. So if you have not already, go ahead and follow us on Instagram at exploretech.la and give us a like on Facebook at exploretech.la. We'll most likely make an announcement there to indicate when post-event resources are ready for all of you guys. Now, as many of you guys know, the slides and essential links for each activity are already linked in the workshops and panels list on the Socio platform. So once the event is finished, we will be uploading the recordings of each session to the respective activities under the agenda section within Socio. So they'll be kind of complemented. You'll be able to go to the workshops and panels tab to see all the resources, and then go into the agenda. And instead of join live stream, it'll say watch recording, and it should pop up really easy for you guys to see. So already now the opening ceremony for day 1 is loaded up. So if you guys wanted to take a look back at Alfredo Ayala's fun Disney effects, the opening ceremony is right there. And if you click on that link, it'll pull up the actual agenda item and you will see the recording for the event. So it's all set up for you guys. No worries. And that's how it will be set up when we have the rest of the recordings set up for the entire event. Now, we're going to move on to what everyone is here for. It is time for the next 2 raffles of exploretech.la 2021. You all were going crazy gathering points today and this entire weekend. So we are going to be choosing 2 well-deserving attendees to receive our next 2 prizes. And our 2 prizes today are going to be the Capcom game code for Mega Man 11 and a 32-foot LED RGB strip. Ooh, I'm a huge proponent for good lighting, so I would love to have these both in my room. But 2 of you lucky people are going to win these awards today. All right, so now let's head over to the raffle site once more to draw our lucky winners. So 1 sec, we're going to go to my face real quick. And then we're going to go to the raffle site. So all the points are closed. We tallied up all the different things from the different social media challenge, all the activities you guys did within the event, and anything else you guys did. All of it contributed to this. So now here we are going to pick the 2 names for our daily raffle for Sunday. So our first name is going to be, drumroll please, LAL3R. Congratulations, you are the winner of Mega Man 11 in the game code. Now, on to our next person. Who is going to get these LED lights? Pick another name. MIG 3S, congratulations, you get the clout lights or TikTok lights. You are going to be famous because of them. Awesome. Congratulations to you too. Let's go. Amazing. All right. That's it for our daily raffle. But now it's time to go to our cumulative raffle. So going to the next slide. Now we have our cumulative raffle for the entire weekend. This has 3 different prizes, with the peak prize being to go into first place, which is a 4th generation Amazon Echo Dot. For second place, we are going to give 2 Capcom game codes, Monster Hunter World Iceborne and Street Fighter V Champion Edition. And finally, for third place, we're going to get a sweet LED table lamp. Now, let's take a quick look at our leaderboard on the Socio platform to see who has been climbing the ranks. So let's head on over here. We're going to go to the leaderboard real quick. And it seems like, ooh, you guys have been busy. Look at this. All right. So let's see here. I've lost my notes. All right. It seems like our third place has been decided. So AMF2C, congratulations. You will be winning that LED light. But it looks like we're going to have to do a quick runoff for these other 2 people. So let me go ahead and go to our random name picker again. Let's go ahead and go on over here. And we're going to have to pick 2 more names. So of the 2 people with the top names, we have ASC4F and EMP4C. We are going to decide who is going to get second place right now. So that is the 2 game codes. Going between the 2. And congratulations, ASC4F, for getting those 2 game codes. And that means EMP4C, you are the winner of our 4th generation Amazon Echo Dot. Congratulations. You are going to get that bad boy soon, and you are going to be able to make your room look fancy with that thing. Oh my gosh, that's very exciting. Congratulations to all the winners of the raffles for this weekend and for today. We will be contacting you afterwards, after the event is finished this weekend, to coordinate with you how you will receive your raffle prize. Again, congrats to all the winners. Now, I know some of you may be disappointed that you weren't able to win one of these awesome prizes this weekend. So, we have one more chance for you guys to win a raffle prize, and that is feedback. Now, it has been a long and eventful weekend, and our entire team has put a ton of work into making things all happen. So we would love to hear from all of you about how you liked it and maybe how we can improve it in future years. So we will be sending out this post-event survey for all of you to fill out sometime before next Wednesday, April 21st. It shouldn't take too long, and whatever you write will only help us make this event even better for next year. Now, the link is on screen. Go ahead, you can copy that into your browser, or I believe Annie Chen is sending it in the chat. You can go ahead and fill it out now because you've completed the entire event, but you do have until next Wednesday to fill out this survey. Now, every attendee who fills out the survey will be given 1 entry into our final post-event survey raffle. Note that you must include your name and email address on the survey in order for us to enter you into the raffle. For those of you who would like to remain anonymous, you do not need to fill in your name and email address, but you will not be entered into the post-event raffle. So if you want anonymity, please fill out the form, but you don't have to put your name and email address, but you won't be put into the raffle. But for those of you who do want to be put into the raffle, here are our prizes. So these are our last 2 prizes. Our last Capcom game code for Mega Man Zero ZX Legacy Collection, and a Razer Kraken X Ultralight gaming headset. So these are 2 different prizes, meaning we're selecting 2 different people for the raffle. So go ahead, fill out that form as fast as you can. Only 1 entry per person, so this will be a very even raffle amongst all the people who fill out the form. And we will be contacting you after next Wednesday to let you know if you're one of the lucky winners. So go ahead, jump on that form, and try to get your last chance to win one of these final prizes. All right, so that wraps it up for our raffle portion. I want to just kind of go into some thank yous now. So first off, I want to say thank you again to our amazing guest speakers, Alfredo and Carrie. You guys were amazing, and I am so glad these students had a chance to hear both of your guys' messages. So thank you. I hope you guys appreciated the Disney magic in the first one and some of Carrie's wonderful stories and amazing advice in today's ceremony. But next, I would like to thank our amazing team who has put on this entire event. So to give you guys some stats, we've been working on this event for exactly a year, basically. We hired some of our first team back in the spring, so April of last year. They've been working throughout the summer. We brought in more people during the fall, and they've been working tirelessly while going to a full-time university to put on this entire weekend for you guys. This is the largest amount of activities we've ever had, so very exciting. We've been coordinating people from over 5 different time zones in these different Zoom meetings and coordination for all of this event. So a lot of people from around the world working towards this cause. We have a total of about 1,288 hours at least put in by all staff to make this event happen. And that's crazy. But I think stats are nice. But what's nicer is to have an image of everyone who's been involved in this event. So I want to say thank you. Please throw your thank yous and your wonderful appreciation in the chat for all the members of exploretech.la 2021 who helped make this event a possibility and an amazing place for all of you guys to learn STEM and interact with each other over this entire weekend. So thank you so much. Thank you so much to this wonderful team. And thank you guys for coming out to our event. Right, transition back to the slides. All right. And lastly, I want to say thank you so much to our sponsors, Samuel Computer Science, Samuel School of Engineering, Balsamiq, Yubico, Northrop Grumman, the Disney Company, Capcom, and Cloud Girls for all of their amazing donations and contributions to this event. And I'd also like to say thank you to our community partners for being amazing during this event as well. ACE Mentor Program, CSTA, the DIY Girls, Girls Who Code, Technovation, UCLA Tie-Ins, as well as Teens Exploring Technology. All of these people are those who helped make this event possible and make all of you guys have all this wonderful knowledge that is now within your minds. But with that, we've come to a close in our event. I've been honored to have been the executive directors here and lead this wonderful team and put on this event for you guys. Thank you so much for coming out to exploretech 2021. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your weekend, wonderful rest of spring. Stay safe out there. Watch out for our emails afterwards. Please enjoy the rest of all the resources that we have within our platform. We will be giving you guys some more information later. But without further ado, have a wonderful rest of your day. Thanks for joining us. I'll see you later. Goodbye, guys.
Before making plans for it, then you shouldn't build a website, an app, or a piece of software without wireframing its key pages and screens. Business owners, product managers, designers, and programmers all use Balsamiq to clarify, iterate, and communicate their user interface ideas. A simple but invaluable step which saves you from feature creep and from wasting a bunch of time and money coding the wrong thing. Balsamiq is the industry-leading solution for fast, approachable, collaborative online wireframing. The app is incredibly easy to use. If you can use Microsoft Office, you can use Balsamiq. You won't believe how fast you can whip up screens and web pages. We compete with pencil and paper, and we win. We keep things at low fidelity so people don't get hung up on details too early in the process, and they don't confuse your wireframes for the final design. We've been working on wireframing tools for 10 years now, so we know which features you need and which you don't. Plans start at $9 a month with unlimited users. Give us a try for free at balsamiq.cloud and see for yourself. Any questions? Ask away. We're good people and we care.
Beyond the boundaries of tomorrow
lies a special kind of impossible.
A kind of impossible.
Where
Where
pioneers
pioneers
forge ahead.
Where no idea is too bold.
and no challenge too great.
Because making a 200-ton airplane disappear is impossible.
Until it's not.
Predicting cyber attacks before they happen is impossible.
Until it's not.
And solving the mysteries of the universe is impossible.
Until it's not. It's our job to break free from what is to what could be. Ready?
To leave the boundaries of what's known.
To define possible.
To define possible.
Define
To
possible.
define possible.
To define possible.
Build a house before making plans for it, then you shouldn't build a website.